All right, welcome everybody. And just to do a quick sound check, Jeremy, are you here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, awesome, awesome. All right, well, welcome everybody. I'm a little out of breath because I just went for a jog, even though it was 30 minutes ago. I haven't done that for a while. So I'll be catching my breath probably for the next hour or so. I don't know how long this is going to go, but we wanted to make sure we gave everyone an update of the upgrades because it's pretty exciting. And I just want to say a big shout out to the dev team, to Jeremy, who's led that up, and the team that's helped make that happen. Absolutely incredible in the speed at which a lot of the features that we now have access to based on this last upgrade, I wasn't really expecting until version 2, like in January. So even though this isn't the fully updated user interface, that, is coming down the road that's optimized for, just looking really amazing on all applications, the features and even the look and feel and ease of use, particularly on a laptop. I'm using a Mac laptop. Far have exceeded my expectations, and they've worked extremely hard to make that happen. So I just want to give a big shout out to them for that. And we're going to go over those updates today, so that people can kind of stay in tune and in step with all that's here, because there's a lot packed in. One of the things before, I'll probably hand this over to you, Jeremy, to kind of guide us, and then I might interject to help people kind of maybe go a couple layers deeper on understanding, the benefits of a lot of these features. Because if you're new to all this and to using this, it may not be obvious right away why we've put so much time and energy into some of these upgrades. So I want to make sure we'll interject throughout. But Jeremy, I'll hand this over to you in just a second to kind of guide us just this loosely. I'd like this to be faster paced because I know it's the holidays. If a lot of you are like me, you do last minute shopping. If you're in the US and buying an unrealistic number of gifts is still a tradition for your family. We had agreed not to buy gifts as much in our family because it got so ridiculous, but it seems like we're back at it. And so there's a lot of last minute stuff shopping, to make sure somebody doesn't feel left out. So I'm gonna probably. We want to have questions and answers, but I'm probably going to have to break away before we get through all of them, unfortunately, today. But we are going to have a lot more events. I just want to say there's a lot of exciting things coming, and we won't go into all of it today. We're just going to go over the upgrades so you guys are caught up on that. But soon we're going to share more about the foundation, that's behind this. And I do mean literally a foundation. A lot of you may not be aware, but Vetter was always a community driven project, and there's a foundation that runs it. And that means, it's not just a couple of people who make decisions, although we've always wanted to make more strides to formulate that and let even move this towards a DAO, where, a decentralized autonomous organization where everybody who owns governance tokens could have a say in the priorities and the steps. We are, just a quick update, we are still looking at January, first or second week of January being the date where, and I'm going to start using the proper language so people understand where the foundation decides to do the marketing, and we're going to have the foundation vote. We're going to let everybody, and who's going to be the reps of that? Well, it's going to be people who've been the most active. It's not, I don't choose them. It's the people who choose who the reps are the people who've been most active and consistent to the project, not people who turned out to be speculators, not people who were contributing before, but then abandoned the project because it was going to take another month, for it to be fully realized, which is a really short period of time in the development of crypto projects. So when we say people that have been committed to the project, we're talking about people who've consistently remained committed. And, as we've always talked about, Vetter is just the beginning. It was a foothold. It was positioning in the market to be able to do incredible things, which is where I get really excited when we think about the DAO and thinking about, being able to work alongside people that will get to be pioneers that I'll get to work with. A lot of you guys listening in as all that comes to fruition. But anyway, so we're really excited. We're still on target with that date. Whenever I put out dates, again, I don't even speak for Vetter. You guys got to understand that. I'm one person, I'm one voice. A lot of people contribute to the decisions, and that process is going to become more formulated and clear to everybody, crystallized. But it's never been the case where I can just name a date, snap my fingers, and make it happen. It's a community project. It's a joint effort process, and a lot of things have to come together. But I've always just wanted to share with you, what the plan is from here, from what I'm hearing. And right now, from what I'm hearing, and Jeremy can give his thoughts on it too, it looks like we'll be ready to flip the switch, and what that means is the foundation will vote, decide our centralized exchange is going to be a priority. Is influencer marketing going to be a priority? Is YouTube ads going to be a priority? Like, we want to hear more and more from others and have a formalized process. So again, we're going to share more about that, but after Christmas, come back and start inviting more and more people into that process and into that voting process. But anyway, it's looking good. I'm absolutely blown away by how amazing of a job the dev team's done with this. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to you, Jeremy. I don't know if you want to show your screen or just kind of point me. I have it up right now on my screen, but if you want, I could have you share the screen, and maybe it's easier for you to kind of point and talk that way.
No, it's easier if you're driving, actually.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so go ahead.
So the point for today is to just go over some of the latest features, right? That's what this one's about.
Yeah, I think some people probably here wanted a little bit of an update. They're chiming in, or listening in for the first time. But I think, those are my thoughts on the update part of it. I think, the bulk of today is to give a review of all the upgrades, the incredible upgrades that just happened with the last update a couple days ago.
And just note that my video is going to be in that start here. So when Jeremy, when you explain that.
Yeah,
I'm close, guys. It's so intricate, the editing I'm doing.
Yeah, I couldn't help but laugh out loud, literally, a few weeks back when someone said, "Can't you just put a video up there real fast? How long does it take to make a friggin' video?" It's like, obviously that person never produced high quality video with edits before. It is a process.
Educational as well.
Yeah, educational, meticulous, with marketing built into it, with the limitations, because we can't be like obviously selling people on the idea of investing into crypto for regulatory reasons and understandable reasons. Like, there's a lot to think about when you're editing and producing a video like this. But Robin's done a fantastic job with it. Robin, do you want to, and Jeremy, do you mind if Robin shows a quick 30-second blip of that video as we kick this off? What do you guys think? I don't know.
I have two favorite spots. One's at the beginning, and then the other one is when I say intuitive oracle. Just
what do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think it's worth showing a little bit of it.
I can show just the first little snippet.
Share, Robin.
Give me 1 second. Yeah.
I might have to hit stop share.
So what she's referring to, everybody, is on that screen where it says start here. When you click on that button, that's going to be where the video is intended to actually play. Right now, if he clicks on it, it's just going to say, hey, this is coming soon, right? So if you go ahead and click on that, Mike, everybody can.
Yeah, it says coming soon over here. Yeah. So that's
have it ready to play that video once it's ready. And we have the buy Vetter button is there, and that's working now. It takes you off to the pancake swap directly into being able to buy Vetter with BNB. So the whole point of this, by the way, is we want people, when they're landing here, when the marketing kicks in, to see this as the first thing that they see, and to have that video be good enough for them to really understand what the platform's about, why they want to hold Vetter, etc. So that's where there's a lot of time and effort on, especially Robin's part right now. Mike had to do a lot of scripting and coming up with the best way to say things, but it is a very important video. So I think the extra time that's being spent on that is appropriate.
And it's, it's already going to be what I feel is too long. So we have to cut a lot out. We aren't able to review all the features of the dApp. So it's a lot of deciding what don't we highlight and how do we reference things. So it's quickly said, but even though they may not understand the full depth of the features that are built into this, it's enough for them to move forward and either get to tier 3 with 100,000 Vetter, or maybe tier 4. Of course, those that can't afford that can come in at lower levels. But I also wanted to mention, though, that it's going to be a work in progress. Like, even when the marketing kicks back up again and things are cranking, it's going to be a constant tweaking. For example, I've already written another script for a shorter video that's like 45 seconds long. That might be the first video that they see, because people like me would come to a page like this and I don't even need to know how it works. There's going to be a lot of people like me that just want to know enough to know how much I need to buy to see how it works. Like I would literally just buy it to see how it works. There's a lot of people like that. Like they just learn by doing and they jump in. And so there'll probably at some point be a shorter video they see first for those that just need to know, hey, get 100,000 better, you'll get to tier 3, and you'll see some of the most coolest features. And that's basically all they need to know. Like someone like me would come here and get 100,000 better, and I'd start playing with it and go from there. But others are going to need a lot more detail. There's some people out there, for example, who will get angry if you don't, tell them right away that, because of the way this is structured, there's a wallet to wallet transfer tax. When you start getting into stuff like that, things start to get really boring and long and, not very effective, but yet we have to say it. Obviously we want people to know. Now, people like me, I don't get angry when I come into a project and learn things the hard way. I just don't, but some people do. And so while we'll have that fast video, we need to also say, hey, here's a really thorough video, which is the one Robin's working on now. So initially the really long, thorough one will be there, but we're going to try to find a way to put a really fast one that just says something in 45 seconds to get people like me, which is a large percentage of people that just need to know what they need to know. They're not the angry types. They're not prone to blame or anything like that. So we don't have to worry about them as much, but give everyone else that longer video. So everything's said, it's really long, it's a little cumbersome, but all of our bases are covered to make sure that all audiences we know what they need to know right away. For those that's extremely important for. So that is important. And so that's what we're starting with, is the longer, really detailed video. Then you're also I just want to mention, there will be tutorials everywhere. You'll see a question mark up here, like where it says rank key, and a question mark up here where it says tier key. You'll see a question mark here where it says gains and tips, right here. And when they click on that question mark, something very, a light box, something will pop up explaining that section. So people will be able to go all over this thing and understand how everything works. Same thing with the calendar. Like a lot of people might come here and they don't even know, a lot of people won't even know what an IDO or a pre-sale or a fair launch is. What are the differences between those, right? Like they'll be able to click around here soon and have little educational tutorials that quickly inform them, or they might not understand how to use like all this stuff we're going to show you today. There'll be little tutorials all throughout the dApp. The hardest part was making a video that says everything that needs to be said to everybody. And that's what Robin is going to show you a clip of right now that will be up here any day.
And I'm just concerned because sometimes when I share my screen and then stop sharing screen, it like ends the webinar. It's happened before. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again.
Okay.
So,
well, if that happens, go ahead and share your screen.
If it happens, then we all know what happened.
Yeah, go ahead and share, because I unshared it, and let's see if yours
all right
comes up correctly. And if you guys get kicked out, just hop back in. Shouldn't happen, but we'll see.
You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's not finished, but. Welcome to Vetter, your portal into the exciting world of DeFi, known as decentralized finance. Vetter is your one-stop resource for researching new crypto projects launching for the first time. This is where you can find the bigger gains and faster timeframes. In fact, right here on Vetter, people are reporting gains anywhere between a 2x all the way to a 390x. Look here in the gains and tips section to see the most recent reported gains by the community. In most cases, these gains are being realized within the first 1 to 7 days from when a project launches. It can be exciting, but always remember, trading in crypto comes with a risk. Nothing you find on Vetter should be considered a recommendation to trade in cryptocurrency. Do your own research and seek a financial advisor when seeking advice. Vetter is a sophisticated research tool that optimizes the power of crowdsourcing. It gives you access to the shared knowledge of literally thousands of people working together right here to sort for their next big gains. And you can start using it right now to sort for crypto private sales, pre-sales, fair launches, and IDOs launching on the market right now. All right.
Awesome.
More to come.
Great job. Great job.
There we go.
For those that haven't produced
You can share your
high-level
screen.
videos, educational videos, videos that require like all these different elements, education, marketing, regulatory compliance. Like it is not easy to put it all together. So hats off to Robin. And yeah, so without further ado, I'll hand it back over to you, Jeremy. It looks like I'll need to share my screen again.
Thank you.
1 second. And we'll let Jeremy kind of walk us through this process. 1 second. Let me get this back up.
I mean, the first thing that everybody's going to notice is that there is a different look and feel in general to the site. You know, we're moving towards the designs that our user interface guy, who's really good, is coming up with. We haven't had time to implement all of his ideas, but we're trying to implement a number of them as we get them. So you'll notice, for example, where it lists the tiers in the top middle there, you get the bars next to the ranks and the tiers, right? So it used to be little tiny circles. It was really hard to see them. You couldn't really see the information very well. So things like the fonts and colors and whatnot were all updated. And that style goes throughout the site. So you can see that in the hot list. You can see that in the main calendar itself, right? So we've used that style throughout. So that's just one of the things that are an upgrade is the look of it. And in that hot list, instead of listing the timing, we used to say how long it was since the last one was added to the list. There's so many projects being added that most of them were recent. So we figured let's provide a little extra information about which network it was on, what type it is, et cetera. And for those who don't know, hot list, we have seen some questions about this. Like people think that hot list is kind of a featured list or something along those lines. Like, how do I get my project on the hot list? It's literally the last 7 projects that were added that meet a certain criteria. So every time you come to this dashboard, that hot list will highlight a few new projects that were just recently added. And the criteria is if somebody is a purple scout, or if they are a green scout, but they're also a purple vetter, then those projects are the ones that rise to the top of the hot list as soon as they're added.
As we go forward, what the criteria need to be for something to be added to the hot list can change. And that would be something that the community will get to vote on. You know, these are the kinds of things, some of the kinds of things the community will get to decide.
Yeah, and we will add more functionality as well, like, you know, featured lists, you know, at the point where tier 4 has the ability to follow a person, you know, we might see another tab similar to how ranks and tiers have 2 different tabs. We might see additional options in the hot list for show me the projects that were recently, you know, liked by the person that I follow, or, you know, that sort of thing. So more to come there, but it's a great start. And that's all that goes there right now is literally the last 7 projects that were added to the calendar.
Well, last 7 that were green or purple.
Yeah, that met the criteria that I mentioned, right? So gains and tips, one of the additional features there is that you can click on it and go to the project that's referenced. So when he clicks on one of those gains and tips, it's going to actually load up that specific project. You might have to scroll up.
It might, oh yeah, because I'm
You're
zoomed in.
Yeah.
And you'll have to connect wallet, right? I'm still on, I need to get my wallet ready. One sec, guys, so you can see this. All right, so I'll connect wallet. All right. Yeah, so let me just show you that again, guys. So, because a lot of people might not have seen that. I'll zoom out so you can see this better. So you can, what he's saying is you can click in here now, because a lot of people are like, well, what project did so-and-so get a 2X on? What project did someone get a 3X on? You know, Sniper says he got a 20X here. You can actually click and you can go see exactly what project that it was. My computer might be loading funny because I'm on Zoom, so it might be loading really slow. But that's the concept there. Yeah, my computer's gonna be a little slow here because I got Zoom open. Okay, so now you can actually see it. Now, one thing I want to bring up here is, oh, Jeremy, I had a question, if you don't mind. So it says 2 vetters here, right? Is it still just loading that? Like, because my computer's loading slow? Is that why it doesn't actually show the vetters? Because I should be able to see vetters because I have like 600,000 vetter.
Yeah, exactly. It's just taking time.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this will also show the vetters here in a moment. But what I wanted to show you guys really quick is that, if voting is done on a project before it launches, we need to downvote those people. And so we got like a voter all-star team that started to audit votes. So just know, if you vote incorrectly, you'll get downvoted, and it won't take long to get to red if you vote incorrectly. So that's coming next. Anyway, back over to you, Jeremy.
Okay, and since we're on this page, you'll notice next to Iceberg Protocol at the top, there's a back arrow. So if you click that left arrow,
where are we looking?
it's like a less than sign next to the name Iceberg Protocol at the top.
Up here?
Yep, see the little arrow next to it?
Right.
To the left? That's a functioning button. So if you click on that, that takes you back to where you were.
Awesome.
So if you were on the calendar, it takes you back to the calendar. If you were on the hot list or wherever you're at, it takes you back to that now.
Gotcha.
That was a feature that people were asking about. There was no X anymore because we load the projects up into
right.
their own page.
Right.
So that gives you a way without having to refresh to get back to where you were.
Perfect.
Let's see. So the tiers are added now. So that was something that was new. The fact that a lot of people in the Telegram group were always asking, what are the different tiers? They're now right in the back office now. Everybody can point them to here. If it ever updates or changes, you'll see those changes live. Same thing with the amounts that you earn as a voter or as a scout, etc. This is live information for how much you'll earn. So for example, recently the value of a purple vote on a scout was 3,000. Now it's 2,000. You can see that right here in the back office.
Yeah, and you'd click up here, obviously, to see what scouts are getting paid at the different levels. And again, as Jeremy just said, this changes. So you want to check this every once in a while. What vetters get paid for vetting, what voters get paid for voting. Absolutely. And by the way, all of these things are things that the community will soon be voting on. Our job was just to get the dang thing working, functional, and up, which is maybe not as easy as some people may think. And then once we got that done, then the community can vote on all these things. I know a lot of people were griping about, what we decided it was going to cost at the different tiers. Ultimately, that's not for us to decide. That's for the community to decide. But we, excuse me, while we get this set up. It's not so easy. Go ahead, Jeremy.
And now while we're on that subject, you'll notice underneath the circle, if you want to zoom in on the text underneath the voter rank circle.
Voter rank right here. On the left, right here.
Under the circle, yeah. So you'll notice now, instead of saying how much you've earned in the last 24 hours and how much is left to earn in the last 24 hours. So not only were those fields problematic, but they were also misleading at times because it takes time for things to happen on a blockchain. So even though we don't stop the screen and have you wait until your transaction is processed by the blockchain, we let the application go back so that you can move on and do other things that you want to do. And now with the notifications, you'll actually be notified when something is actually verified on the blockchain. But because of those timing issues, it was very problematic showing the amount that you earned in the past 24 hours. We're going to be moving that to a user specific, like a profile page in the very near future. So it's not that that information is completely going away, but from a dashboard standpoint, we felt like what's the most important thing to know is how many more times can I vote? And then once your votes are gone, it'll now show, here's how much time it's going to take for 24 hours to pass from the last time you did a vote, and it'll actually show in local time, how much time, what time that would be in local time for that one set duration elapses. So the other problem was if we're showing how much is available to earn, that's also based upon what your current rank was. So if you were green and you're really close to purple, it might have reported that you had 4 more votes at 1,500, which would add up to 6,000 vetter, when in reality, after 1 vote, you became purple and you were going to earn 2,000 per vote instead of 1,500 per vote. So it wasn't really an accurate amount of vetter that you're about to earn. So again, we feel that as a community, it was decided it's better to show how many votes are remaining, and then once they're gone, how much time is left for them. So that was a pretty big update, and it's now on the profile page as well as the dashboard with the tabbed format. And it remembers that he was on the voter tab on the dashboard, so it's now also on the voter tab here in the back office. So that's all tied together the way that it should be. And there were some issues that were addressed in today's update with the voting. So a lot of people were reporting that the time left before their next vote was coming back with incorrect information. That should all be resolved now. It should be accurate information. The next big feature, if we go to the calendar, Mike, there's a number of things here that I'd like to point out. One is the style, the color, the formatting all changed. It should be a lot easier to read. And you'll notice that in the week, day, and list formats, not just the monthly format, the changes were also made in those areas. So in this month view, you'll notice that it says, for example, on December 1st, it says there's 44 more projects. So you don't see them all, you just see the first 5 on that day. If you go into the week view or the day view of the calendar, it will actually list out up to 500 on that day. So you have the ability to see the entire list in those views. For those who are using mobile devices, the list view is really handy because it shows the entire week, but it has each day listed down. So you'll notice now it goes to Monday, and if he keeps going, it'll go to Tuesday, etc. So it's a really handy view when you're on a mobile device. So we are starting to get some of those mobile features added to the system. It'll look better and better as we go. And the other thing to notice too is the filters have all been modified to be like the advanced filter. So event type, network, etc. They're all drop downs with the appropriate coloring. And then as you select them, so why don't you go ahead and pick a couple of categories, Mike? Networks, that works too. So you'll notice that it changed to Binance. When he clicks on pre-sales, it'll change to event type pre-sales. When he changes the category, pick a couple of them. You notice it says 2 categories selected. So even if you don't have these boxes open, you can see that some selections are made. So if you come back to the calendar later and you're thinking, I think there should be a lot more here, you might want to check your filters, and you'll be able to see at a glance now that the various filters have been set.
Yeah, let me just zoom in on that, because I could imagine some people missing that and still getting stuck there. So one time I had made some selections up here before this new update, and then I came back a few hours later and came to the calendar, and there weren't very many things showing up on the calendar. I had forgotten that I had the filter set, and it wasn't easy by looking up here to what the filter was set to. And it took me a little while to figure it out, that the reason why a lot of things weren't showing up in the calendar was because I had already set the filter previously. So now I could look up here really quickly and see, oh, I've selected Binance. And then, or if I selected 2 of them, like Binance and Ethereum, now it shows 2 networks selected. Like I know that if I want to see everything, I need to uncheck those. And then as far as this one over here, it just shows a little funnel. This is advanced. You'll notice that if nothing's selected, it's white. If something is selected, it's green. So you'll know, you can just glance up there and know, if not everything is showing up on the calendar that you're looking for, it's probably because you had previously, set your filters, and you'll be able to see that visually as the new update. It's pretty cool. Like Jeremy just said, this shows I have 3 things selected here. Really helpful.
And the quick way to get rid of all those filters is to use the little X to the far right So if you click that X, it'll remove all filters
Awesome.
and you'll be back to seeing everything.
Awesome. I just want to reiterate, I'm assuming everyone here already knows this, but I don't know how many times I've seen people complaining in the Telegram group, something like, oh, there's like 54, projects on Tuesday. This is ridiculous. I don't have time to look at 54 projects. It's like they don't seem to even know that the whole point of this is to use the filtering to narrow it down to what you're looking for. That's the whole point. And if you don't know what you're looking for, to go to rank and at least just narrow your, and Jeremy, I wanted to mention this last update. I see purple only twice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get that fixed.
But the whole point is to, be able to narrow it down using these filters. And if you really don't even know what you're looking for, you can just select, green plus, for example, and just see the projects that are green and purple, which narrows it down considerably. If you're only used to also just Binance Smart Chain, you would also just select Binance Smart Chain, and it's going to narrow it down even further. And so, that's the power of the tool. And, obviously, as you become more familiar with it, then you can start looking for projects that don't have a whitelist registered, or the ones that just have a whitelist registered. I mean, there's so many things you can do to significantly narrow your search. That's the power of this that Coin Sniper doesn't have. It's funny, the things that I hear. People are so excited to complain, but they just don't have a clue like how much is built into this. So instead of complaining when you see that, just start encouraging people to ask questions like, how do I use the filtering tool to look for, what I want, or how do I best optimize this tool? Like, that's how one would want to approach something like this to learn how to use it.
And I want to mention that in the search feature, like one of the things I did was someone asked me about a project if I knew anything about it. And so the cool thing was I actually searched for the name of the project in the search and found that one of our stellar all-star vetters had vetted it. And it made everything so much easier because I was able to search for a project that someone actually recommended, but it was vetted by one of our stellar vetters. So it was like the more projects that are actually in here, the better. Yeah. And the other thing also is like I vetted one of the first project I vetted in here. I kind of called it as a rug pull, even though I was like, rug pull, but sharing it, but not sharing it. But I basically called the rug pull and it ended up being a rug pull. And so if, I would just want to know that if there's 100 projects on a day and I intended to be involved with one of them, I would want to know, based on the track record of the vetters and all of the information here, especially when.
So let me say that again. So let's say I heard about a project, everyone's saying how great it is in some Telegram group. I can come here and search for it, like Robin's saying, and I might see that several of our vetters indicated some red flags. I mean, how much time did that save me, as my first step to researching a project? It's absolutely incredible, the value that this brings. But that's why we absolutely want as many projects here as possible. And we want vetters to come in and mention red flags that they're seeing. Because that's another way to use this is you hear about a project everyone's saying is the best thing ever. And you come here and you go, well, maybe it's not. You immediately see, you search for the project and you immediately see 3 people vetted it with some warnings. Super, super, super helpful. Jeremy, do you want to mention again all the things you can search for here? Because it's pretty incredible, like how you can use that search feature.
Yeah, there's quite a list. So the key is you can't distinguish, like I just want to search for username or I just want to search for project name. It's going to show anything that matches your search criteria. But we are talking about adding some abilities to limit the search to specific fields. But right now, the fields that it's using are the username, the wallet of the user, the project name, the project symbol, the Telegram, the website. So there's quite a few options for how to find a project that you're looking for.
Yeah. So here's another example of how powerful this is. So let's say you're in somebody's random Telegram group where they pitch and shit all the time. And someone mentions a project. And then upon, closer analysis, or maybe you're in another Telegram group, the same project has a different website address. And you don't know which one is legit, which one is the real thing. Maybe it's 2, maybe neither one's particularly a scam, but one's kind of copying the other. You would be able to come here and search by website and see all of them that come up here, everything that's on this calendar come up here that has that web address, and look at what the vetters are saying about it and do further research that way. You can literally search by all Telegram group, same thing, Telegram link. And then as far as being able to search by someone's username or wallet address, maybe there's someone that you're following or that you want to look into that you just saw has been getting a lot of tips, helping people find a lot of gains. You could literally just come search for the projects that they posted here. You actually can you follow them now, Jeremy? Could you also follow that person?
No, we have follow project, but not follow person.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's something that's coming. Okay. Right now you could literally search for somebody that you see has been helping people get a lot of projects and have just get a lot of gains and have just the projects that they posted as a scout or vetter show up here.
And speaking of follow project, so a couple of things. Number one is we do have the ability to open up more than one project at a time now. When it was a pop-up, we couldn't do that. Now that it's its own URL. On your mouse, do you have a right-click capability, Mike, or just single button?
I mean, I do this.
You have a right-click?
No. I mean,
No,
when I
okay.
do two fingers, it should be the same.
So
Yeah, 2-finger click on the check.
you can 2-finger click on one of the names of the projects. It should open up that project in a new window. So that might not work on the Mac. If you hold down the command key and click on the project or right click, then it should open it up. So you notice that opens up a new project. So you can do side by side. You do have to connect your wallet each time because that's appropriate. We don't want to have our site automatically connecting to your wallet. You should have to authorize that. But you have the ability now to side by side compare more than one project. Right. And then you'll notice that on that screen, on the upper right hand side of any project that's open, there's a little heart. That little heart currently is not lit up. And if you hover over it, it says this is not a favorited project. Is not a favorite. So now click on that, Mike. Now it says project is set as a favorite. You saw that, and you see that the indicator changed to a solid heart. So now if we go back to the calendar, inside of the advanced filter.
I was going to ask, are you sure you don't want to show your screen? Mine's really slow.
Just click back on your other tab that already has the calendar open. Little tab on the left. And then go ahead and go to the advanced filters.
One sec.
You'll see there's only my favorites. So now if you uncheck no whitelist and check my favorites, you'll now notice that that project is what's showing up on the screen.
Yeah, so if there's projects that you want to track, right, you want to follow, you want to be able to easily find again, ones that caught your eye or attention, you favorite those, and then you come to this advanced filter, you only pull those up, and then you would find on the calendar all of those ones that caught your eye that you want to watch or check back in on. It's pretty awesome. Awesome.
What else? So on the left-hand side in the menu, we now have the Telegram and the website links active in the menu.
Say that again, Jeremy.
On the left-hand side in the menu, we now have
there.
the Telegram and the website links are there.
Right.
So people can quickly get to those, and we're sure that they're getting to the right website and the right Telegram group that way.
Right, absolutely.
One of the things a lot of people were asking for as far as IDOs go is to actually have an IDO date and a launch date. So if you select show only IDOs, you should see that there's now both dates available on those.
So you mean now the date of getting into the IDO as well as the date that it launches to the public on a DEX is both included?
They're both included, yeah. And then when the project's being edited, both can be, added, updated, etc.
Okay, great, very good. And again, my system's really slow because I'm recording the Zoom. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Uh, as far as the major features go, those were most of the major features other than the notifications. So we spent a lot of time, and there's still more work that's going to be going into these notifications. But if you click on the bell, you'll see a really nice listing of things that have happened recently. So
Right.
you'll get notifications like when you vote, when that vote has been verified on the blockchain, when you post a project, when admin approves your project or disapproves of your project and gives you information about why they did so. You'll get a lot more feedback now. Some of it in real time, they'll just pop right up on the screen for you. In other cases, it'll be when the event occurs, it'll then show up in your notification bell. We have a way for broadcast messages to go out to everybody. So a lot of work is being done in that notifications area.
And part of the voting audit and just auditing all of the information on here, there is more messaging coming. Like, for example, people that are higher ranking bettors will eventually be able to message maybe like a new scout who, voted, or sorry, a new voter that voted incorrectly on a project, so they're not just downvoting them, but they're educating them on what they may have done incorrectly or trying to understand why they voted a certain way, so there'll be more internal communication coming over time to kind of facilitate the integrity of the data and to facilitate communication between, more experienced members who want to kind of help maybe newbies, learn how to use the platform properly.
Yeah, and if you go to the profile page, you won't notice it on this account, but in that black bar area, there are a couple of things that can show up there. One of which is once we release royalties, this is where you would go to claim your royalties if you're part of that program. So underneath that current line, there'll be another line that shows here's how many royalty awards rewards are available to you, and there will be a claim button there, so you'll be able to claim them. So anybody who gets to Green Scout within the next day here will be part of that royalty pool. So
yeah, and then and we're gonna see, we think we're gonna be able to have the first royalty reflections go out sometime tomorrow, probably late tomorrow, and then but then it will be the 19th, which was the date we were aiming for, but this was the first time the contract was ever used with the royalty reflections, and we're never using it for the first time, so there's extra stuff we got to do. So but from this point forward, after this first royalty reflections gets initiated and distributed to everybody who made rank of green or higher, it'll be the 19th that happens every month for everyone who ever qualified for that, even if you lost that rank. The only exceptions will be, people, if we found out somebody was gaming the system, incorrect voting, all kinds of stuff that got someone there, that might be an impact that. But otherwise, once someone gets to rank of green, even if they were to drop below that, on the 19th of every month, they'll have access to those reflections. What Jeremy is saying is you would go to your profile to claim those when, each month when you want to get those.
yeah, and they will add up, for whatever reason you're on an extended vacation for a couple of months, lucky you. When you come back, they'll still be there. It's not like you lose them. So, and then the last thing was there were some issues with votes on votes and cases where people were going directly to a project and having to then connect to their wallet on that new page that opened up. It was causing some issues. Those have all been addressed now. So I know some people might have experienced having a downvote on their vote, which was unintentional. It went to the wrong person. So I apologize for any issues that brought up for people, but that is now working the way that it's supposed to work. So
guys, if you notice that your vote, especially in the last day or two, got a downvote incorrectly, it may have been just because of that glitch. Because whenever we do these massive upgrades, it can affect other things. And while we have a QA and we have tons, the dev team puts massive time into testing and stuff. And Jeremy, you might want to expand on this, but just so people understand, smart contracts don't allow for the same kind of development process, that you could do when you're not developing on a smart contract, environment. So for example, Jeremy was mentioning that when you're not developing in a smart contract environment, you can set up all this automated bug testing so that before you go live, when you do all these updates and upgrades and changes that can affect other things, instead of having to manually test every possible feature, you can automate that process, but that doesn't work with the smart contracts. So Jeremy, do you want to speak a little bit more about that? Just to the challenge of every time we come out with these upgrades, it can cause these issues.
Doesn't work as easily with smart contracts. There are ways, and the quality assurance person we have is going to be working on that so that we can automate some of that testing, but it's not an easy, quick thing to set up, and we're still, making sure we have all the existing features and functionality working to the best we can. We are going to be, I know everybody's kind of getting used to having even multiple updates per week. That was to get to the state that we're at right now. The number of updates that you're going to see, will slow down so that we can spend a little bit more time making sure that everything is tested to the best of our ability. Just keep in mind, not only does the smart contract cause potential problems as far as testing goes, but also it's not easy to test every scenario on every browser, on every device, on every, that's always been an issue throughout history with any application development, is that there are times where you can test all you want, you don't think of a certain scenario, so once we find those, we get them addressed pretty quickly, I believe. So there's that. But yeah, every new change that you add just has this domino effect of so many other things that it could potentially affect. So I think we've been pretty good at keeping those bugs out of the system, but they do happen.
And I forgot to finish my thought a moment ago. I was saying, if you were affected by that, if you see that you got downvoted on a vote and you shouldn't have, like it's obvious, just let the community know. Say, hey guys, can you upvote my vote? You can upvote a vote, right, Jeremy?
Yes, if they add upvotes to the same vote that was downvoted, it will counteract those bad downvotes. Unfortunately, so that's the other situation that you have with smart contracts versus just a database-based system. In a database-based system, you can just go back and fix all that stuff. When you have a smart contract, that transaction exists, period. So that downvote is there forever and we can't change that. Right. But you're right, if additional upvotes are added to it, then it will self-correct.
Yeah. So again, if you see that you got downvoted and you think it was incorrect, let the community know and people can upvote it, and it will offset any negative impact that the downvote would have had from that glitch. The other thing I wanted to say is we're going to get to the point here very soon, and Jeremy was speaking to part of that when he said you're not going to see upgrades happen so fast, which creates a really challenging environment for creating a stable system. That's part of what I'm about to say, but just in general, we're also going to be just making less changes, like because we've already created so much, it'll be more fine tuning so that we can have a stable system, that people can learn, get used to, things aren't changing, and I foresee in early January us being at that point where changes are happening upgrades are happening much less often, other than just what the community, determines is absolutely essential. And then it's going to be more focus on obviously the marketing, and then we'll have a stable system so that they're not constantly getting caught off guard with a glitch or something because we were upgrading things too quickly. So expect things to start to really normalize and stabilize here in January. And then that's when we can continue to develop and evolve the administrative side. Like we have leaders in the community, which by the way, are going to be the same people that, get to be the decision makers early on, as we're a foundation early on, and what the priorities are that get set for veteran stuff, before we move into a full-on DAO, or maybe it turns into a governance token or something. It'll be those that have been a part of this process and that are behind the scenes, for example, auditing votes. There's a group that's helping do that, auditing the vetting and helping to ensure the vetting is high quality. Like these groups are there's also a scout group that helps to make sure the scouting is being done optimally. And those will be the groups who have the greatest voting power initially for obvious reasons. And again, that's going to become a transparent process as we go forward. That's what we're going to move into next. It wasn't the subject of today's call. I just want to let you guys know to look for communications on all of that. I think it's really exciting, to be pioneers and to be a part of a pioneering group that's really serious about evolving and developing and launching things together in this exciting space is just phenomenal to me. For those that get the power of that, like I just think it's absolutely amazing. And I just want to hats off, high five, big shout out to those that have been behind the scenes with kind of the thankless job of helping audit these things. We're in the early process of it, but just know, as far as the entire community listening in right now, that's going to have a big play, a big impact on the quality and efficacy and integrity of the content of the projects and the voting and the integrity of the ranking. So you can come here and know when you choose the rank of purple or green, that what's coming back is really good projects. There's no way that we could have been there yet at this early juncture. I'm impressed that we've gotten this far. I'm impressed that it's working, that it's functioning. We've got all this data already here. I thought that was gonna be a lot harder to do. But from here, just understand now it's going to be all about integrity of the data. And these core groups, the all-star voting team, the all-star scout team, the all-star vetting team are going to be an integral part of that. And the ones that we'll be turning to for feedback on what does need to get added and stuff. And again, we'll talk more later and have a really transparent process for everyone to understand, how are these people, what are their roles on the foundation? How are these people voting for priorities? Who else can have a vote? And who's deciding those things? Because it's not us. It's got to be the community. But that structure should become very transparent to all who own Vetter. And so that's kind of where we're going next. But just know that things will normalize and stabilize. We'll be doing less upgrades so that so when the marketing's turned fully on, people aren't running into all these glitches and stuff because there's such a fast-paced upgrade system going on. And just also know that these core teams that are auditing, vetting, voting, and scouting are going to become an integral part of the integrity of the data. And that's going to be the focus going forward more than it's been now that we have a stable system. Go ahead.
And from a major functionality standpoint, really all that's left is the video vault, the tier 4 features like following a person, and then a page that does a better job of not being calendar based, but being project based, where you have more search capabilities and being able to find what projects are on the platform, less from a look through the days, but more of a searching through the project. So really those major milestones are the big functionality pieces that are coming. The rest of it is like Mike said, it's all from that point on, it's all about stabilization, making sure there's no bugs, making sure that the experience for that new user is as good as it can be and their questions are answered right within the site, as opposed to having to go to a community to ask for help. So we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there fast. Anyone who's created anything new that is innovative, which is extremely rare. Oddly enough, it's extremely rare in crypto lately, especially on the Binance Smart Chain. It's very, very uncommon to see anything new that's literally never been done before being created. And that's really what you're supposed to be seeing. And it's supposed to be rewarded. Unfortunately, I don't want to get too far off track, and we'll open this up to questions for, I think, about 30 minutes. I just want to mention, it's just an unfortunate fact of life that in a space like crypto, much like it was in the early 2000s, 2000 in the internet, IPO market and newly released internet companies that, most of which went kaput because there was nothing really there, that a lot of people lost a lot of money in. Unfortunately, it's just a fact of life that in those environments, speculators have a lot of impact on the short term. But it's the settlers who come in, who care and contribute, and who choose projects where there's people who care and who are working together to build real value in the marketplace. Those are the ones that last the test of time. It's unfortunate, to see like some people coming into a project that's legit, where you've got people really committed to developing it, but you have all these speculators who have no intention of sticking around after they can make some quick gains. They'll be on to the next thing. And look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's going to be a majority of the people that use Vetter platform will probably be speculators, that are just speculating, which is fine, in these other, particularly Binance Smart Chain, but even these other networks like Cardano, you name it, and these other projects like that, there's going to be a lot of speculation. That's the way it is. But when it comes to this particular project, we're not here today, gone tomorrow. We're actually developing the new functionality, innovating new functionality, and attracting a team of settlers, not speculators, settlers who want to settle in and build that value together and reap massive rewards for being pioneers who contributed to the value of the platform over time. And so, the next wave of focus, and you saw us make that shift a month ago or more, it's on the settlers, not the speculators. Granted, speculators will use the platform, but the people that we want to work with and associate with will be the settlers. So I speculate all the time. I'm going to come in and use this platform and speculate in all these types of projects. But I'm also a settler. When I find a project that has a team that's really committed to developing real value over time, and I see an opportunity, whether that's just investing into it or an opportunity to be on the team, those are the kinds of people I want to associate with long term. So I'm not saying that just because, I prefer working with settlers, obviously, it doesn't mean that there isn't a role, that I don't see a role for speculators in this space. Obviously, speculators will use this platform. I will speculate all the time in crypto. I'm just saying it's the teams that are working with the settlers that are attracting people who want to contribute and who care about the utility and care about what's being built. Those are the ones that are obviously going to win the most over time. And that's who we're developing these incredible, partnerships with. For example, the All-Star vetting team, the All-Star voting team, the All-Star scout team, the people that are helping, facilitate a lot of this, people that have contributed to the Telegram group. And I don't mean the ones that were here during speculation fun time that are gone now. And I'm talking about the people that are consistently here. Obviously, those are the people that you can really build something with. And you're going to notice going forward, and you saw the shift a month ago, that's the focus from here, is attracting the settlers. Obviously, lots of speculators are going to come here and use the platform. But when it comes to working with people, when it comes to who gets the voting power, that would be the settlers for what I would think would be obvious reasons. So,
yeah, I had somebody message me last night, one of our investors who uses the platform, and he said he was just so excited that he kept buying incrementally more and more Vetter, and he was so excited and he can't wait and he's really looking forward to it. So, I get really positive messages, and it's just really nice to receive that appreciation. Like Mike was saying, people who actually are, coming in using the platform, not just contributing, but, coming here and really receiving the value from it and appreciating it. So that's who we're talking about.
So let's open this up to questions. Jeremy, are you okay for about 30 minutes? I can do about 30 minutes.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, cool. All right.
Let me see if, can you guys raise your hands?
I got to say, guys, and I apologize in advance, I will have to go at 5:30 Eastern time, but I do have 30 solid minutes.
Well, it's already 6 Eastern.
Oh yeah. I try to anticipate Eastern time because I know most people aren't in Pacific. So
I actually have the most gorgeous sunset here.
It's almost 3 Pacific, so I can go till 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. So go ahead and raise your hand, guys, if you want to chime in with a question. And by the way, Phyllis, I apologize. I don't know if you noticed, I made you co-host so you could chime in, but I did it like 10 minutes after we started. I meant to do it earlier. So before we open up for questions, Phyllis, anything that you wanted to mention or ask about, you should be able to unmute and speak at will.
Hey, Mike, I actually missed a lot of the call. For some reason, I could not get in. So unfortunately, I kept on trying, but so I finally got in. And I just wanted to say pretty much like thank you to everyone who's been really working really hard. I mean, of course, the core team is incredible and they've been doing an amazing job. They really have. And I know they're getting people were throwing things at them left and right. But I also wanted to say thank you to, all the guys that have really been helping out, in Telegram, as well as like the new vetter support and the new voter support and the new scout supports, and, everybody, because everybody has really been extremely helpful. And I think I just wanted to say thank you. I'm sure, I hope you know that I appreciate everything. But yeah, it's been really an amazing experience meeting and talking to so many people over the last couple weeks. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait, for us with things to settle down so we can actually dig into the dApp more. And so, yeah, great job, everyone. Great job. Jeremy and Mike and Robin and also Adam. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Phyllis. And I agree. I'm excited to get to the point.
Thank you.
I'm excited to get to the point which I think we're very close to, where we're just using the dApp, right, as members of the dApp, and just increasing the efficacy, by working with the Scout All-Star team, the Scout Vetter, the Scout Voter team, just incrementally increasing the efficacy and the quality of the data on the platform. I think that's when people are going to realize what we were really doing all along. We just had to get a lot of things in place to be able to do that.
All right, so I see boom, 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 4 hands. I'm gonna go to PC. Not sure what your...
Yeah, PC, go ahead. If you can unmute yourself.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, hello, you guys. Yeah, I joined the chaos that was the pre-sale back, October, I guess it was now. And I wanted to say thank you too to Phyllis. We've chatted a bit on Telegram. She's kind of helped me along here, especially with regards to a lot of FUD, which admittedly there's been a little bit too much of at times. So no, thank you so much for that and the positivity. So yeah, I guess it's kind of a twofold question. So first and foremost, I still, call me pathetic, I still have not found a way to get into the new Telegram. I got the email and I did the question, watched the video and filled out the blanks there, but I still didn't get anything. So
wait,
Robin, hold on, let me show my screen really quick. So one second, let me kind of walk everyone through this. So
let me explain.
Over here, well, it's just real quick because I'm showing my screen right here. There's a Telegram link right here I just clicked on. And if you check this and fill this out, which it sounds like you did, if you do it again and you hit send, the very next page has the link that takes you right in. Like, you don't need to wait for anyone anymore.
Okay, yeah.
We'll
wait and get back to you kind of thing. So
I need to say one more thing to that though, so people know. If you answered the question incorrectly, and we're not confident that you know how to avoid getting scammed in a crypto-related social media group because you didn't answer clearly enough, then we might mute you in the Telegram group until we can somehow figure out how to reach you and know that you know how not to get scammed. I gotta say, guys, there are so many people that can be in the support group and they might be friendly. They might have the picture of Phyllis or me or someone else that's somebody. They might even be somebody that we kind of know. We don't know. There's no control. And they can steal your money if you don't know how not to send it. So it's very easy not to get scammed. Very easy. But
oh no, that I learned a lot. And thanks. I know they're not affiliated, so I won't mention them anymore. But the guys that were doing that initial support, they helped me with that incredibly, so that I didn't get scammed. So I appreciate that. As for the questions, I'm pretty sure I entered what I was supposed to, and I'm pretty confident that I can't get scammed at this point. But
yeah, I'll give it another because there's like over 100 people on here. I just want to make sure that people didn't come in here, fill it out, go in the support group, and be confused why we muted him. Like, if we mute you after the fact, it'd be because your answer to the question didn't show that you really know how not to get scammed.
No, totally fair enough. And then another thing, I was just curious, will there be any plans down the road, do you think, where we can actually stake Vetter tokens? I'm a holder, so I'm holding long term. I don't care about it. I've decided after that November stuff that I'm just going to ignore the FUD 100% and just hold my Vetter, even if I don't even, pathetically enough, don't use the dApp. I'm just going to be a Vetter holder, if that makes any sense.
About FUD, I don't know if you've been involved with a lot of finance smart chain projects, but I've never been in one where there wasn't FUD. I mean,
No,
even,
fair enough. Yeah.
even some of the most successful projects that I got the biggest returns on, it was just a ridiculous amount of FUD. In fact, way more than we ever dealt with. Like it's just funny to me. And there'll be even very smart people who are able to lay out all the reasons why you shouldn't do a particular project. And lo and behold, it will be the best project. Like it's very, and that's where our vetters come in. Like we're going to keep working with our vetters just to really offer good input there. Because a lot of people, they just love to spread FUD and are really good at it. I have a theory on that, and then we'll move on. A lot of FUD is empowering to the FUDder. It's hard to build a community by providing value to people.
Well, that's what I say about bullying.
It's a lot easier to build a community by aligning with negativity and going, oh man, this project, it's so bad. Here's what, yeah, you're right. By the way, we have this group over here.
Right.
If someone's not living in abundance, they're going to come off.
Robin, just one second. There's something really specific I just wanted to share. And that's how they build their community. And I just want you guys to be on alert for that. I've been building communities for 20 years at least, as a main process, like I've always done as part of my businesses. And there's always a group. And if you know this as a strategy, you'll be more, on guard about it. If somebody is consistently aligning with negativity and then directing you to another group, that is a strategy to empower themselves. Those groups end up usually having a lot of infighting for understandable reasons. People that are attracted and drawn to negativity, it's a lot of camaraderie initially, but in the end, they don't have anything else to offer. And they just kind of siphon themselves off of other communities through negativity. So be on the lookout for that. We experience some of that here. And it's very common, as a strategy to build one's community when you don't have much else to offer.
No, absolutely. But I think honestly, one of the best strategies for any kind of huddle on anything is to ignore FUD. And that is easier said than done. Ignoring headlines, the bigger projects, the bigger pre-cryptos, I try my best to ignore that stuff too.
And it becomes easier over time as a project proves itself, right? It just takes time for a project to get established, and then that FUD becomes less effective.
Totally, yeah.
To answer the question, though, the answer is that there is currently no plan for staking of this particular token because it's really not set up for that.
No, fair enough. I kind of thought that would be a possibility, but I find that is with other bigger projects, it's a good way to have a hodl strategy, especially when it's locked up. If it's locked up, I don't even think about it. Right? So,
yeah, we thought about maybe proposing to the community that the governance token for those that get to vote on the future direction of Vetter, maybe that'll have a staking element to it, or maybe the community will propose future projects, like VPAD's been talked about, and there's a bunch of other projects that I would be excited to see happen that the community will get to vote on is making a priority. Those might have a staking element as well.
Oh, sweet. It's always good, keep an open mind. I guess that's the best way forward anyway. So, really looking forward to seeing where this goes, you guys. And once I start seeing some returns, and I should actually use a dApp. I mean, here I am saying I'm just going to be holder, but I mean, the same token, once this darn JOB, as I call it, that's holding me back a lot. Crypto is my future, not my job. So I'll try to dive into the dApp sooner rather than later, I suppose.
And just, and it'll get easier and easier to do, but just my recommendation would be for those that don't have a lot of time, just use the time you do have to identify the purple and green scouts that are getting tipped the most, that are getting the most thank yous, that are, posting projects that are consistently getting the most gains. And, if you have your research process start with them, it's not going to take much time to do really well.
Exactly. Well, that's the whole point. This is a time-saving feature overall. I mean, that's the whole objective of it, right? So, no, sweet. And now I guess the last thing is I just got to figure out a way to connect my my wallet address to the Vetter dApp. I can do that through PancakeSwap, I'm assuming, no? Or
to connect your wallet with the dApp?
Right.
You'll just need to be on the device that you can access your wallet with. Like, you see Mike has access to the little fox up there, the MetaMask.
Okay. Yeah, it's the only, I only have Trust Wallet at this point. So Trust Wallet is only on the phone.
So
Jeremy, what's the blanket answer for those with Trust Wallet that are trying to figure out how to connect?
Yeah, so I'll try to make this as short of an answer as possible. So from a dApp perspective, if you have Trust Wallet and it's on an Android, then you're able to use the URL within the browser within Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet on an iPhone does not have the browser built into it at this time. So we are talking about moving towards using Wallet Connect. From a personal standpoint, I've got issues with that as a platform, but a lot of people like it and they want to move that direction.
Security issues, to be clear, Jeremy.
Right.
Yeah.
You're kind of authorizing somebody else to do transactions through your wallet in a way. So, but it's being used by more and more places. So we are going to take a look at that. But in the meantime, there's two options. So one is to use another wallet. Just be very careful if you import your Trust Wallet seed words into another wallet app, you'll have access to the same account, but do it in a way where you're not giving your seed words away.
Right.
So that's one option for now. And then you could use a different browser for now, or
I suppose I
just
could
hang
set up
out.
a MetaMask. The only thing that I have in my Trust Wallet is Vetter tokens. That's it, right? There's nothing else in there really. So I suppose I could set up a MetaMask and that can be used on desktop, right? So because this kind of platform is, I would assume anyway, is definitely more desktop friendly anyway.
It is a little easier to use on the desktop, yeah.
yeah, I would just set up your MetaMask on your computer and then import the seed phrase and then use Vetter dApp on the computer. That's what I would personally do. Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. And yeah, sorry, I don't know why I said Pancake Swap earlier. Just my association is Trust Wallet, dApp, Pancake Swap. That's the only thing I've used it for. So anyway. Awesome, guys. Well, I said 2 questions. I think I asked 4, so I better let you guys go and move on to the next person there.
Hey, it's all right, man. Glad you're here, and looking forward to hearing about how you're using the dApp as you go forward. I'm excited to hear how it works for you.
Absolutely, rock on, you guys. Merry Christmas and all the best for the new year.
Hey, you too.
Happy Hanukkah. I have a couple guys too, I forgot to mention. Well, four guys that we'll be working with to shoot videos for Vetter. So I'm really excited to be releasing that too. We've got Kurt and Ryan and Evan and Shay who are shooting videos. So I'm really excited. Maurice, you're up next. I asked to unmute you, Maurice. There you go.
How you doing?
Hey, Maurice.
How you doing? I want to thank you for letting me get on to ask a question. I wanted to find out, as far as with scouting a project, right? Once it launches, I know that currently there's no way to go back and add any additional information if you find something out later. Is it going to be any way they can change that in the future? Because like I had one project that actually rug pulled that I had scouted, and there's no way for me to go back in to notify people of that, so that that they don't go in and still try to buy that project if they don't really look into it deeply and see that it rug pull.
It's a great question, and it's a topic that we discuss a lot, and that it's probably one of the topics that's going to get into the kinds of things the community will be voting on about future features and stuff. But Jeremy, can you speak quickly on what's been the challenge? What are the reasons why we've hesitated to have a scout be able to edit a project after it launches? What are some of the risks if we do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, just so you know, there is a way now for an admin to unlaunch so that things can be changed or edited. That just has to be done with a discussion through the Telegram to the admin groups. We don't have a way to message them within the app. The biggest challenge with it is if there is a rug pull, we don't want people to have the ability to take that project off the docket, right? To make it an archive project, just to prevent getting downvoted on. It happens, rug pulls happen. So I like your question. Your question was geared towards how can I add information to tell people about this? And that's the right attitude. And that's what we're going for in general, I think. So there are ways for vetters to continue adding information after the fact. And we'll continue talking about this. Like at this moment, I can't remember all of the criteria.
Jeremy, didn't we, in one of our recent discussions on this, didn't we come up with a future feature being where a scout could click a button to say it was a rug pull?
Yeah, so we are adding that as well, which isn't there yet. So that would flag it as a rug pull. So that's another way to do it. But we have in the meantime been adding, and again, I can't remember the criteria off the top of my head right now, but there are certain individuals who would be able to continue adding more information even after it launches. But yes, we will have a rug pull indicator in the near future.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. And just one more thing real quick. As far as when you're trying to scout Cardano or Solana NFT, they don't really use, well, from the ones I've been running across, they don't really use Telegram. And the questions that are asked on the template that's in the dApp, it specifically has that Telegram link in there that has to be put in. Like, how can I get around that?
Well, we can always use Discord. So if there's a Discord link, you can put it there. But maybe, Jeremy, we can change that to Telegram/Discord or something like that.
I have foreseen us needing to make changes to the form, possibly depending on the network that was chosen. We're going to need a lot more feedback, Maurice, on all those changes, but that might be one of them, right? Like, I know Telegram's really customary for BSC projects, but I knew it probably wouldn't be for a lot of these other networks, but we just haven't had time to make adjustments to that form. So that is an area. For those that are in the Discord, you probably noticed that I put a couple Discord channels together asking for who knows a lot about the Cardano network. Another one was who knows a lot about the Solana network. And it was kind of there that when those start to get a little bit more evolved, and working with them, that we'd get input that could impact, some changes that we might make to the form. For now, Jeremy, is there a recommendation on what someone can do if there isn't a Telegram group for one of these other networks?
Yeah, I would probably for now use Robin's recommendation and just put Discord or something else in. As long as what you put in there is unique, it's going to work, right? So theoretically, you could technically actually just put the project name or something in there. It's not making sure it's an actual address right now. So, it's easy to get around, but we will be adding, there's a list of probably 20 or so other fields like Discord, like there's a whole bunch of them that, like Mike said, we just haven't had time to implement those additional fields. And this was really geared towards BSC initially, and we're starting to branch off into those other networks, and gathering that information of what's required will be very important as we move into those different environments. And we will have the ability to change which fields are required based upon the network that's selected, or the type of coin, or the fact that it's an NFT, et cetera. We'll be able to adjust. That's part of those moving forward, making things nicer and nicer aspects. Once we have all the major functionality there, then we can really start focusing in and honing those things in.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much again.
Yes.
You have a good day.
You too. Zamunda is up next.
Okay, one second. I just had to get some cheese. Okay, Zamunda.
Are you there, Zamunda? It shows that you're unmuted, but we're not able to hear you. Are you there, Robin? Am I not able to hear anybody?
I hear
Okay.
beautiful silence.
Okay, so Zamunda, I'm not sure but why, but for some reason we're not able to hear you. So we'll try you before we close out today.
Okay, Cole and then Vijay and then we good. So Cole. Go ahead.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How you
All
doing?
the way from Australia here. Fantastic job, everybody. Just been wonderful watching the progress, and almost every day we wake up, there's something new to explore and get excited about. So yeah, to everybody involved, it's huge, but what a Christmas present.
Hey, thank you.
Just had a quick question on the hot list part on the board. Just curious because most of the opportunities that seem to be coming from the gains and tips board is getting in, like you said earlier, from the first few days, right from the pre-launch and being ready to go when it's officially launched. That seems to be where the big gains are coming in. Is that reflected in the hot list? Are the hot list basically is the criteria of pre-launch, or are there some things on that hot list that have already been launched and that maybe is just more of a long-term goal?
So the hot list right now is just those most recently loaded projects from people who are at the rank of green or purple.
Right. So they're loaded, not launched.
That are loaded with, have at least at the time they were posted, had a pre-sale or a launch date pending.
Yeah.
It didn't happen yet. That's right.
That's all I needed to know. Just wanted to check that hot list was sort of, ahead of the game.
That's right. And then, I mean, if you ever were to find something to the contrary, like if you were ever clicked on one of these and, connect your wallet and you saw that it already launched, that would just mean when they posted it, it hadn't launched yet, but it was maybe too short of a window. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that's all I needed to know. I won't hold you up.
And thanks for that. And I just want to reiterate for those that maybe joined in late, we can, the community will be able to vote pretty soon on what other types of things they want to show up in the hot list. Some ideas have been, we could do something kind of like we have up here with the tier key, where you have two little tabs you can click on, and one might be like they are now. One tab might show the most recently loaded, green and purple projects, and another one might show, people that you follow, because there's a follow feature coming. So there'll be lots of things that we can do with this. And I'm looking forward to when we can get more community feedback on a lot of these types of things going forward. But I'm excited about it.
Nice.
But when we can, I'm really excited about being able to follow people, and seeing those. You'll also be, the follow feature will also be something you'd be able to search for here too. But there's something cool, at least for personalities like me, where I just like to kind of see, like, in front of my face, if I'm at the dashboard and I could just click real fast and see the most recently loaded projects by the people I follow, who, I trust when they load a project that it's probably going to be pretty good. That's going to be a pretty powerful feature. But thanks for the kudos. And I second that. The dev team has blown away my expectations with a lot of these features that they're cranking out. It hasn't been easy.
That's good for the eyes as well. It's a lot easier to read now, and it's for a lot of the older crew on these things with bad eyes, it's a major improvement.
Hey, thanks for that. They're working hard to make that the case. Appreciate you chiming in.
Cheers.
Vijay, and then Femi had a question, but I know we got to go in about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
so
we'll do Vijay first. Go ahead, Vijay.
Can you guys hear me?
It's really quiet. If you could.
Really hard to hear you.
Yeah, but go ahead, but speak really loud. Yeah.
Hey, first of all, congratulations for all the persons in the team.
Thank you.
Such a wonderful project.
Thanks so
very
much.
rare to come in
Appreciate
the BSE space. And I'm here to report some discrepancies in the Vector tokens being paid for voting. Please don't take it as a
no problem at all. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Yeah, the thing is, the first session I voted, I didn't get paid the Vector tokens itself on the first occasion. And on another occasion, I was overpaid. So the amounts are also not the same. So which means I see it as two different errors rather than one being compensation for the other.
Do you know how to shoot a video, like to record yourself going through the process? Because that would be really helpful for the dev team to see if you know how to shoot a video.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
That would be,
So the
Jeremy,
other thing to
go
keep
ahead.
in mind though too, Mike, is that it's the timing of it. So I don't know when you did the voting, whether it was very recently or it was back when there were issues. So there was a time where yellow brand new voters were not getting paid when they were supposed to. That's been resolved. There are times where the amount has changed. So it's all based upon what the rates are at the time that the vote is submitted to the blockchain. And if you go back and look at your actual transactions on the blockchain, it'll show you whether you received Vetter or not for those transactions. So not only is it helpful if you happen to be able to do videos, that's great, that's helpful. If you at least submit actual transactions to look at, then we can see the timing of the transaction. We can see how much you should have received and what you actually received. It is not very often that you'll find a case where you were not paid what you were supposed to be paid. It may have been a case where the interface wasn't showing it properly. There's a lot of things that could have happened based on the timing. But so as of right now, though, if you vote today, I don't know of any issues right now. So everything should be working properly. There were issues that have been addressed. So I just wanted to mention that. So I don't know what the timing was.
Jeremy, can we show them how to go check on the BSC scan? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening.
Yeah, I do know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you say the yellow thing was not getting rewarded, I understand that that's also my first issue. So on the second issue, was around a couple of days ago. Even the transaction history shows I made just 4 transactions, but I was overpaid. So
when you say overpaid, by how much?
By 1,000 Vetters.
So it shows, I don't know what rank you are, but there were changes to the amount that was being paid. So
Okay. I'm in Bees
Purple,
right now.
for example, was getting paid 3,000, and then as of last night, it changed to 2,000. So you may have been paid 3,000, and that's what it was at that time.
No, I'm in Bees right now.
Beige. Okay.
Yeah. So I made just 4 votes. The transaction history reflects the same, but I was paid 5,000 Vetters.
Okay. Well, if you send the transactions, we can take a look at it. I mean, we're not going to take them away. Obviously, whatever you were rewarded.
That's okay. I'm just reporting as a technical issue.
Thank you for that. And if you run into it again, please shoot a video or anything you can do to send it our way. Sure. That'd be really helpful, because we're just trying to get all this really stable, right, before we crank on the marketing so we can handle all the new growth. Jeremy, I got my MetaMask open and I did a voting yesterday. I think it's either this transaction. No, it's probably this transaction right here. So just really quick for those listening, to make it easier on the devs, with this kind of stuff, if they think there's a discrepancy or they think they didn't get paid, how do we show them how to go here and look at this transaction on BSC?
Yeah, so you just click on anywhere on that transaction, and then there's a view on Block Explorer. It'll either say that, or there'll be a little upwards blue arrow on some MetaMasks. So when you go out there, you can see in this particular case, tokens transferred were 500 Vetter.
Right here.
So the other way to see it is to just search for your wallet in general. So if you click on your from address there, Mike, which is in the middle of the page.
Right here.
Yep. Nope, up a little bit.
Right here. No,
nope, that's
right
from. There you go. You'll notice there's a BEP20 token transactions. So if you go to that tab, so you got transactions, internal transactions, and then BEP20. You have to click on the BEP20, and that shows you Vetter that you've earned and when. So
right here.
What actually is in BSC scan is accurate, more so than even what's shown in the interface. So
let me say that again. Whatever's showing in your wallet that happened.
Okay.
And whatever's showing even on the application itself may be lagging, but what it shows on BSC pad would be correct. So that's kind of new for you. Could fast forward to this recording I'm recording this, and you can kind of get walked through, like if you think you were paid too much or too little, and like we just showed you, you could go there and see how much you were actually paid before, then you'll know the truth behind it before you report a bug. But if you see that there is still an issue, the next best thing you can do is record a video and get that over to us, like in the Telegram support group. For now, we're going to try to find a new way for you to support that or report that to us. But for now, in the Telegram support group, and that video would help them out a lot.
Yeah, sure. And
All
one
right.
more thing while I'm at it.
It is 30 minutes past, so I don't know if we want to wrap
Yeah.
up.
All my votes have been as profitable, but the notification source is as not profitable. Have you guys been aware of that?
Say that one more time.
All my votes have been as the project as profitable, but the notifications that come that says as unprofitable. Your vote as unprofitable has been registered or something.
Oh,
like
in the notification area?
that.
Yeah, we have noticed that some of those are not coming up properly. That is something that we're addressing right now. You are right. Sometimes it's showing the
Yeah.
wrong note inside of the notification. So we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that fixed.
That is all. That is all.
Hey, thanks for that. And I just want to reiterate to everybody, we've made so many changes and so many updates and so many upgrades, but it will get to the point here very, very quickly where it stabilizes, normalizes, and you won't see these little quirky things happening anymore.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for letting us know. And let's go back to Zamunda just to see if we can, because we weren't able to hear Zamunda. So we're going to unmute you one more time, Zamunda. Or actually, we asked to unmute. You still need to unmute yourself, Zamunda, if you have a question. Hopefully, we'll be able to hear you this time.
There's Bill and Nicholas and Femi. I don't know if
Yeah, guys, unfortunately, I'm not gonna have time to do any
yeah,
of those.
I have to get to editing as well.
Sorry,
so.
I really, and Bill, a big hello to you, man. But I just, yeah, is Zamunda there? We'd skipped
Yeah,
Zamunda.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I think I joined from my computer, then I joined the audio from my phone. That's probably what was in the problem.
Gotcha.
First, I want to good job on the enhancement. It's really, really good, all these enhancements. So I think it's definitely going to help. I appreciate the enhancement. And I have one question. Is it possible in the future to consider maybe putting information about the chart, like the link or anything like that, embed that into the platform, and also the market cap or something that is related to the entry point and the exit point? Because when people usually say, I did a 2x or I did a 3x, maybe by incorporating the chart or like some market cap information, that will help somebody who look at it to really validate that information that somebody said they make 3x, because when you look at a chart, you can really tell.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about all those changes. So knowing what the starting point was for somebody in private or pre-sale does help with that knowledge.
Yeah.
It is possible to add charts, but that's more of it's a little bit longer term thing, and
well,
that we are discussing it.
I will mention, Jeremy, it's possible, and this gets into a little bit different subject. It's possible that after a project is launched and we have the smart contract, we could have a link that goes directly to the PooCoin chart, right?
Yeah, that'll be the first step that we're talking about. So I will address that. A lot of people ask about, why can't we link to the web page? Why can't we link to the Telegram? Why can't we see the smart contract address, et cetera? And part of that is for your own protection, right? I mean, that was kind of the idea. But we understand that a lot of people really want to have those links there anyway. So what we're going to do is put a guard in place that you basically acknowledge that those are being added by random people. They're not necessarily going to be caught by admins, that the Telegram or the website link, et cetera, may not be the correct one, even though we provide a way for you to then get to them. You just have to acknowledge that could be put in by a scammer. It could be put in by somebody who's trying to put a virus on your machine. Like, we didn't want to put clickable links there, but the community spoke and said that we should. So all we're going to do is put a little bit of validation up front that says, hey, by the way, kind of a buyer beware type notice. You can click on this link, but it hasn't necessarily been a vetted link, be careful. Well, we'll do the same thing with the smart contract. We'll allow you to say, hey, by the way, this smart contract, it may not even be the correct smart contract because somebody is adding that to our site. And there's not necessarily an oversight that can catch that they put in the wrong smart contract initially. So there'll be a little bit of a warning and then a link to PooCoin. So, and then somewhere in the future, we may, we've talked about the ability to put charts right into the application, et cetera, but that's more of a long-term thing. But yes, initially, we will be able to put in probably the next release, the ability to get to that smart contract in PooCoin.
I just want people to understand, we're trying to do our best to be good stewards of all of this. And a lot of people question sometimes why we do something a certain way, and they don't understand it's because we're trying. It's like we're trying to, protect new people coming into this thing. A lot of new people come into this space and get scammed left and right. So, for example, when I see someone's launched a project and put a smart contract address here, before I ever invest into a project like that, I would always go confirm, I would go to the web address and confirm. I would probably go to the Telegram group and confirm, but not everybody takes those extra steps. So we've tried to build this in a way where it gets people to slow down a little bit and to be a little bit more thoughtful, and not just take information here or anywhere, by itself at first glance, just believe it's true. Like you confirm from a couple different sources. And we're trying to force that. But like Jeremy said, the community really wants it to be easier just to click on this website link or to click and see the PooCoin chart. And so we thought a good solution to that would be, like Jeremy said, something will pop up giving a warning, and then you'll just agree, and then you'll be able to go and click. And Jeremy, I was going to ask you right now, could there be a way, like in the profile or in that little pop-up warning, to say never show this to me again, so they wouldn't have to keep seeing that? Is that a possibility once they've confirmed they understand that?
Potentially, yeah.
So those are the kinds of things, but we just want you to know, we take these extra steps to protect people beyond, like we felt that that's a big part of the value of Vetter, is to take on an extra responsibility to do a better job than the rest of the market has done at protecting and educating people. And so some of it might seem a little bit cumbersome, how we arrive at solutions. It's just, but it is a lot more time and energy and thought than I think, most projects put, consideration into, but it's to make it better and to make particularly the BSC, which is full of scammers, to make it more difficult for them to scam. But
look at it like a Whole Foods. It's like Whole Foods took food shopping to a whole nother level. It's like, they literally created products and like allowed you to see like higher quality products and like highlighted more organic, high quality products, as well as having other products that may be shit for you. And that's kind of what we're attracting. We're attracting higher quality people who actually value that. So yeah, that's why it is the way it is.
Guys, I'm so sorry we can't get to all the questions. We're going to have a lot more events. We're going to have a lot, once this thing gets, fully stable, they've been moving very quickly to doing all these upgrades and stuff. Once it gets stabilized and we're doing upgrades less often, then we move into administration, working with the voter all-star team, the Vetter all-star team, the Scout all-star team, getting input from people who really know a lot about the Cardano network, the Solana network, the Matic network, and the adjustments will be really fine-tuned. After getting input and having the community to be able to vote on these things, on priorities, to set up a really transparent process so everybody understands how the foundation, which is called Block Unity, by the way, how they're making decisions for Vetter, because it's not just us. It's a whole community effort. I mean, from the content that gets put up here is a community effort, but we even want more, everyone to be very aware of the exact process for how decisions get made. Are we going to focus on influencer marketing? Are we going to focus on YouTube marketing? And how is that decision arrived by the community? Which influencer? People are going to be able to vote on this. It's going to be really, really cool and really, really powerful. And it's only a matter of time before people really fully realize what we've been doing. I mean, we've said it. We were very serious about it. Like we want this to be the beginning of something massive, absolutely massive. And that can only happen if it's a community driven process. But, we were, put in the position to create the website, all these features, and that had to get done first before there was really anything we can build upon. And so that's what we've been focused on. It took a little bit more time than we thought it would. There's a lot built into this. There was a lot to learn. Like once we saw how people were using it and little things, people would try to game the system, or people wouldn't understand something we thought would be obvious because we didn't, hadn't seen anyone use it yet. Like we had to make adjustments. But now that we have it almost fully where it needs to be, we can start working with the community more and moving to where this really needs to be, which is a community-driven project that the community votes on the priorities, the direction, not just for this, but other exciting projects that the community decides they want to do. It's going to be super awesome. I mean, it really is a unique opportunity for those that have been paying attention. And again, obviously, the voting power and stuff, should favor those that have consistently been a positive, constructive force, in the community. And so that's who will start defining the priorities and the direction, from here. So again, that process will become more transparent. We're gonna have a lot more of these types of calls, and a lot more calls where it's just interactive and hearing from, other representatives of the foundation and, and discussing, things that are being voted upon and decided upon by the community. Like it's going to start to become a much more obvious, like what really is going on. We just needed, as the development team putting the product together, we just needed to get it far enough along where we could do that. Right. So we're almost there. We're really excited. Really grateful to have those that have been contributing constructively. Again, big high five, shout out to the dev team. I'm just really pleased with the features, and we're hearing and we heard a lot from you guys today. You are too. I'm gonna go ahead and drop off here, guys, because I got a early family Christmas gathering starting here in just a few minutes, but we'll have another one of these real soon. By the way, those of you who are part of the private sale, there's going to be a call just with that group tomorrow. So look for the link to that for those that were a part of that. Just to be able to connect with you guys before the holidays and answer questions there as well. But again, if we didn't answer your questions today, we'll have more of these soon to do that. And for those that are celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas. For everybody else, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, whatever your family celebrates. I hope you enjoyed time with your family this year. I know that I will. I wish you guys the best, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis, and everybody else who's contributed to where we are now. It's been quite a ride. I'm looking for more.
Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.